everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of The Insiders on Real Estate and Marketing. I'm your host, Sandy Hibbard, and this is my co-host, Mr. Marc Miller, and sponsored by Secured Title of Texas. I am super stoked about the holidays, and so to kick it all off, we are going to go deep into gift giving with the queen of gift giving herself, Miss Donna Bender, president of the Donna Bender Company. So we're excited to get the show going. I hope that you'll stick with us the whole time. How you doing, Mr. Marc?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm at the same time I'm battling with AT&T to try to get into a new space, which is maddening.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So anyhow, I have to do, alternate plans to that, but.
Right. So did you guys get the office in Frisco?
Yeah, we're ready to move. I was moving and they contacted me to let me know that they were having problems with the fiber optic and we couldn't go live, and maybe they get that done about December. So, and here we are, we've got only 3 days next week before we're closed, Thursday, Friday, to that side. So thankfully I had another location, so I diverted the team to McKinney and we're moving tomorrow.
No wonder you're a little crazy.
So we're just.
I'm in Frisco, and I can vouch for their problem.
I mean, just getting through the city of Frisco was enough, but now I'm dealing with AT&T, so we'll get there. Everything's fine. So
that's crazy.
Business is good. Everybody's, and when you get to this time, everybody starts cramming to try to close for the holiday piece of it.
I remember us talking about this in last year's episode around the same time. How this was just an insane time. I think we had an episode talking about mistakes and things that are made during this time at the end of the year.
Yeah.
People are trying to close their houses.
Right. And we're still trying to close on our acquisition in Houston by the end of the year. So that's got some
Secured
good
Title
pressure.
is blowing up.
Yeah, we're going. It's cool. Yeah.
You keeping up?
We are. I am. Like we talked about, I'm not sleeping much.
I know.
But
Is that coffee?
But it's good. Yeah, I'm very thankful during this Thanksgiving time for everything that we've accomplished and the great team that I've got.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Time of thankfulness. That's why I wanted us to get together and just talk about that. It's been on my mind. I think one of your posts had kind of prompted me. Donna, you had posted something a month or so ago, and it just made me think about how important stopping to be thankful. We don't do that so often.
No.
And this is the season for that. So where are you heading off for Thanksgiving? Are you going anywhere?
Well, you know me, I'm going to go to Granbury.
Of course.
I've got a second home on the golf course over there.
Lovely.
So I'm going to chill out. That's my disconnect, an hour and 15 minutes. I feel like I'm 10,000 miles away.
Need some company?
Sure.
My mother would not like that. I'm going to head up to Oklahoma City, see Mom, and have big Thanksgiving. This is the year that it's the big one. So we've had to require that everybody's vaccinated for Mom's health.
Around your mom. Yeah.
And that was a little bit weird because we've got, mixed.
Do you do mask as well?
Mixed religions, and my family are.
Will you have mask on when you're inside with her, or just rely on the vax?
Probably. I think we're just going to make sure that everybody's been vaxxed and try to relax there.
Right.
Probably we should have masks around Mom. I don't think that's
How old is she?
happen. She's 91. She's going to be turning 91. And we got a big party planned for her and all that. So it's a festive time.
Sure.
It's a festive time. So to kick this thing off and talk about giving, before we get in with you, Donna, I wanted to let Marc talk a few minutes about title giving. And whenever I was putting the show together, I was thinking about how things were in title with giving 20 years ago. And it was really different when it came to you guys being able, and I'm talking about not gift giving, but giving to realtors. You were able to give all kinds of services to those guys. Perks. Yeah. And it's changed a lot. But how has the giving thing evolved with title business?
Well, we can still, like, as an example, next week we're send a message out to all of our clients, and we went and got a pretty good volume of pumpkin pies.
Oh, yeah.
So we've invited them to come by the office and pick up a pumpkin pie, and gives us an opportunity to interact with them. We got a great response to that. So so I do things festively. If it gets to New Year's, I do a bottle of champagne for our clients. Try to be very target specific to the people you serve. Our bigger focus to giving is into the consumer themselves, and not giving to them, but at every closing we have what we call STT Cares, which is Secured Title Texas Cares, and we choose 3 charities per quarter, and then they can designate at the closing which charity they would like to have us donate something from that closing to that charity.
Oh, that's nice.
And then on a quarterly basis, then we write a check to those.
That's
and then
a good marketing.
Yeah, and then I roll those charities every quarter so that we're replenishing out in the marketplace. And then corporately, our holding company has a fund for us as well, discretionary. So I have a
That's
discretionary
great.
fund that I can give to. If I see a particular need, we can write a check.
What charities are you guys giving to here in the Metroplex? Do you know right off the top of your head? Right now?
City House in Plano, In My Shoes, which provides, which I particularly support, provides housing to homeless pregnant women.
Oh, wow.
To that side, Children's Advocacy Center
Fabulous.
of Collin County. So I have a 10. Well, and also we just gave the big check we gave last. I say last year, it's moved so quickly, but was to Meals on Wheels
Oh, that's a good
up
one.
in Collin County. So we, there's plenty of needs out there, and boy, do they ever appreciate just the smallest of gifts, much less something
Oh, yeah.
significant.
Because those little charities struggle.
Right.
They need involvement. They need volunteering. They need the money.
Yes.
They need the marketing. In my 52 Killer Marketing Tips this week, I talked about giving. And the way I phrased it in my video was, it's time to make a decision and commit to something. Because what it takes generally is just a minute to make a decision. I am going to do this. Whether you're a realtor and you're saying, I'm going to give 5%, 10% of every closing to this charity, or whether you say, I'm going to get involved with this charity and actually serve up dinner this Thanksgiving.
Right.
Making a decision, I think, is so important about what you're going to do in your charity work, and then commit to it. Committing to it so that you're hosting, you're sponsoring, you're promoting, you're involved with it in your marketing, and I think that really goes a long way in someone's marketing to make that decision to commit to a certain area and commit to it.
Yeah, and they usually fall short of that because they get in and
Yeah.
work an area and
Yeah.
farm an area, but when there's an opportunity there to have a drive in that area for a particular charity, and I've worked with some people on doing that kind of a strategy. Do a door hanger. We're going to be in your neighborhood on Saturday. Here's the needs from the charity, and get tremendous response when you do that. Plus, you get an opportunity to go up, knock on the door, and if you don't know somebody, you can meet them as a realtor.
And don't you think that goes a long
I think
way?
it goes
For,
huge.
if someone is wanting to own a community, like realtors
Right.
will farm an area, and they want to own that. They want to be the one where it's their sign in the yards. But what better way to do that than by serving that community?
Right.
And we hear that talk. We talk about it all the time. So I think that making the decision like we're talking about and then committing to it is so huge, to say, this is what I am going to do. Lock it into your strategic plan so that it doesn't get forgotten, so it doesn't get swept under the rug because you get too busy selling houses.
Yeah. Great tool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Well, Miss Donna Bender, we go back a long way. We were just talking about that. You have always had a focus of giving in your business ever since I've known you. And even when I was in New York City at Christmas time, I got a gift from Donna Bender Company. And it was always perfect. I think the last gift that I got that I've been carrying around was it was a jug, had the wooden lid on it with my name
And the
engraved in
and
it,
the motivational word cloud.
and the motivation statement on it. But it kept my water cold for overnight. I mean, I could fill it up with cold water, put it by the side of my bed, wake up the next morning, have fresh cold water.
Yeah, or hot.
Yeah,
It
or
was-
hot.
Yeah.
So I just retired that. And this is my new one now. And I love it because you just go boop. And so Eliana's already playing with this and carrying hers around the house. So anyway, I love this. And
I'm glad.
this has always been your design. So I want to talk about that today. I want to get into your head about gift giving.
I actually started that when I moved here 16 years ago. I moved to Dallas after being in the fashion industry for 20-something years, had to get my daughter into 10th grade, knew no one in Dallas. And
Wow.
after 2 weeks, and she said to me, Mom, I love it here. I wish we lived here my whole life. I was like, yay, I made the right decision. But then I was like, so now what am I going to do? And someone had mentioned promotional products, and my nose was like, And then I thought that if I could create a company around the brands that I worked for in New York, and more of my taste level, then I would consider it. So I started in a brand new industry, in a brand new city, not knowing a soul, and doing it 360 degrees different than everybody else, because everybody else would, get a mug or a tumbler and call every one of their clients and say, this is the greatest mug and tumbler you need to buy. And they could make a lot of money, and it's great. It just wasn't me. I hate selling. I rather build a relationship.
Yeah.
And I was forced to because I didn't know anybody. And so I'd go to my first networking group and I was like, how am I going to refer business? I don't know anybody. And I would have one-on-ones and I would thank people by giving them a gift. And I always liked to find things that were unique and different, some things that didn't become mainstream yet. And at the time when I was doing this, because everybody said, oh, you know how many promotional products people are in Dallas? It was like, you know how many realtors there are in Dallas? And it was like, that was like the going joke, because every time we mentioned that word. So I found that in order to be different, in order to be grateful, in order to show my appreciation, I started giving gifts. And I was looking over my list from the previous years and how big my list has grown.
Oh, I bet.
And to the point now where, I mean, it's great. My whole reason for giving gifts is to show appreciation, make people feel good. And especially now during this time when everybody is so distraught from the last 2 years we've been having. But if it's done strategically, not only are you showing appreciation, making people feel good, it's also great brand exposure. Because I have to take some water. I don't tell a lot of people that they have to slap their logo on something.
No, in fact, you've always taught in your seminars, it's not about that. It's about developing the awareness of your brand through that relationship, not a logo slap on something.
And so if you give somebody a nice enough gift and it has meaning behind it, they don't need to see your logo. I'll never forget when we first met, and some of the things I was like, really? They want their logo? But some people just want their logo. But I would always try to convince someone, if they were spending a lot of money on Waterford Crystal, not to put their logo on it, because it's going to wind back, be in the cupboard. No one's going to want to put it out.
Right.
And you spend all that money. Why do that? So it's just been something. And the other thing that I changed also was I found it over the last several years, I've really been trying to put more inspirational messages on something rather than even, my logo is very, obscure. It's like DB. So it's like signing a piece of art, versus having a big logo on something. So I found that it really works. I love making people feel good. I love that feeling that when people call and say thank you, or this is so great, or they post it on social media, or I get a thank you note. To me, that is my greatest gift. And so that's why I encourage my clients to do the same.
That's awesome. And one thing I love about your stuff is that it's all aesthetic. You have a great eye, and that's because of obviously your history in the fashion business. And so your stuff all has that fashion feel to it. It's aesthetic. It doesn't have an ugly logo just stuck up on the top of it. You look at a piece and you think, what's the aesthetic look for this? And what, how can that how can you use that as the best thing? So I like that. Pandemic has been crazy. We've had to work indoors. We've had to stop our meetings and all of that. So how has that over the last 2 years affected your business, and how has it changed people's minds and attitudes toward gift giving and the things that they want to give?
Well, it's interesting because in March of last year, I was a big question mark when everything started shutting down. And so I had gotten some emails from a couple of local vendors here who started making masks. And so I sent out an email campaign to all my contacts, to the Women's Business Council, to everybody, just letting them know, because supplies were so scarce, that if anybody's looking for face masks, to please let me know. Well, that I hate saying this, because a lot of people's businesses skyrocketed and a lot of people's businesses didn't. But the fact that I had access to it was so good, because after the mask came the sanitizers, then it came the cleaning supplies. And it was, I mean, for my business would, maintained itself because of that. But you get to a point where you're like, I can't sell another mask.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, but let's get beyond that. So my whole industry changed, because first it was only like 3 or 4 suppliers, then it was the whole industry. If you didn't have a mask on your line, no one wanted to talk to you.
Right.
So,
And
then
companies are wanting to have. Do you guys have masks with your logo?
with your logo on it,
Yep.
I want you to know.
I think I have a mask in every coat pocket I own.
I get that.
Not
Same with me.
intentionally.
Got them in all my
it's like,
purses.
oh, there's that mask.
Yeah.
I had sent to a friend last January, because I had just come back from Vegas and I had gotten sick, and it was that time when everybody got sick. Nobody knew what it was. And I said in January of 2020, the fashion statement for this year is going to be a face mask. And then it just was, everybody wanted their logo.
Very
but
insightful.
But if you look at any of the fashion magazines, they had the lace mask that went with the gown. Or
Kim Kardashian's wearing the jewel encrusted
Right.
mask. I mean, it became a fashion
It
statement.
did.
Did you ever
So-
get into those fashion masks like that?
I just stayed. The ones that scare me is these fake faces
Yeah.
that people put on, and it looks like them.
Oh my gosh, I know. It looks like a clown or
Yeah.
something. That's crazy. But people are still wanting to give gifts, right?
Yes, and even so, last year, people still, who I had worked with, did give gifts because they was thanking their employees. My whole thing about gift giving at that time was, aren't you going to thank the people that stayed with you? Aren't you going to thank your clients that didn't go anywhere else, that they continue to do business with you during this, or your employees? That was a huge focus for me last year.
Yeah.
Was-
And that's a great concept. I worked with Judge Fight Company, and they were really big on giving gifts to their employees. And I mean, that's a market. Sometimes it goes
Unnoticed.
overlooked because those people who are working for you, who are carrying out your brand, who are giving good service to your customers, they deserve gifts too. And so Judge Fight, I saw that all the time. And actually, I think that you were, one of the people that we worked with whenever I was over there doing his marketing, to pull together those things to give to the employees, to say thank you for all of your work.
Absolutely. That then, so it went from mass to employee appreciation, and then the whole kitting thing became a phenomenon. All the factories now were putting multiple things in a kit, in a box, something that people didn't have to think about. They also drop ship. They also would ship, direct. All the factories were bending over backwards
Like a
to
new
stay in
employee
business.
gift box.
Onboarding.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So there was.
Someone comes to work for you, and the employer says,
Here's the
"Welcome to the team. Here's a
Right.
little
Here's your shirt, here's your mug, here's your journal,
Mask.
here's your mask,
Right.
Here's your pen. I was even doing ones for companies that let dogs up on the premises. We were
Right.
doing dog boxes. It had
Wow.
the treats, it had the bowl, it had, all these things for the dogs, little doggy bags.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Well, so I have watched your company shift and grow from dropping off gifts to clients pop-by gifts for realtors to working with organizations, big companies now, to provide gifts for their employees, like what we're talking about, to appreciation gifts, then to fashion. So talk about how the evolution of all of this, and what's the next thing for you?
Well, actually, the next thing for me is I am putting together a whole new side of my business. It's actually an extension of webinars, courses, and group coaching, because I feel that I have worked with clients, and we go through a strategic form of gifting where it's not done necessarily at the holidays. It could be done on Hot Dog Day. It could be done any day when no one else is giving them a gift,
Yeah.
because then it means something when you're acknowledging somebody. Because I remember I used to start giving my gifts right between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then it would get closer to Christmas, and you put so much effort and money in, and you're one of so many that people forget who gave them what. And then they go away and they come back, and it's not acknowledged. And there was a lot of time and energy put into that. And so this year, as the last few years, I try to do it right after Halloween when no one is giving a gift, and because it's just time to start thanking people. So I have worked with individual clients, and now I felt it really mattered more to spread that news because of all of the last 2 years of people not appreciating people. So I have a webinar that we had yesterday. It's about it's called the Give Formula, and it's all about giving and why it's so important to give. And it's not just a tangible gift, okay? It could be just a thank you note. It could be a phone call. It could be anything where you stay in touch and just show somebody that you care and that you appreciate. And that I found was another tool and tactic that was so important last year, because you had no idea if people were working from home, if they were working, if they were working in the office. And so trying to locate people to give gifts to last year was very interesting. So now I have a lot of home addresses. So I don't even bother with the office. I figure they're home, let me just get them to their home. Because you don't know, a lot of people just decided to keep their employees working from home.
Right. So are you doing the webinars in lieu of going out and doing your talks? I know that you've always gone into corporations and companies and done seminars and hands-on. Are you still doing that as well?
Oh yeah, it's in addition to, because the webinars, because it's done online, it reaches a whole different group of people.
So you're adding that to your little bevy of tools that you're doing.
And the goal is to have I have a 6-week program that people can be part of, and we go through all the processes, and we go through what's a right gift, what's the wrong gift. I mean, if I tell you now, it's like the wrong gifts to give during the holidays. What do you think the worst gifts to give during the holidays are? And it's probably 2 of the things people give most of.
Oh, geez.
Alcohol.
Well, that's one. Actually, there's 3: alcohol, food, and gift cards.
Yeah.
The worst thing?
Worst gifts to give. Yes, food is gone. You eat it, it's perishable, but you eat it, and then
I
what?
see.
Yeah, there's no left
There's
over.
nothing left
In the
over.
light
Yeah.
of branding and marketing,
Yeah.
it's not a good idea.
No.
I mean, I'm like,
I
please
give you a
send
bottle
me
of
gift
wine,
cards.
You drink a bottle of wine, toss it in your.
Right, and
there's
then
no
you
way.
don't know. Some
Yeah.
people may be married to someone who doesn't drink, or
True.
it's such a fine line.
Yeah.
So I always stay away from
Interesting.
those. If you're going to give food, put it in something that is reusable. The container's reusable, or something that's on the desk that can be used afterwards. So it all has to have a meaning, because as soon as that food
Great
is gone,
information. Things that you don't normally think about. So when is your next seminar?
well,
webinar?
I have one coming up in December, but I'm happy to give more information if anybody wants to direct message me and the word give, G-I-V-E. And you can find me at Donna_R_Bender on Instagram.
Okay.
And just direct message me, and I'll be happy to share the next schedule.
Very cool. I think that's awesome, because people need direction. That's my marketing MO. I'm always doing videos and blog posts and giving away a lot of information, because people just need to learn and know how to strategically plan their marketing. That's so important.
One thing I just want to add to that is that a lot of people don't know the right gift to give, and they don't know about the individual they're giving the gift to. And so, if there's a special gift, it's to hear what the person's saying, find something that they like, find something unique, look on eBay, go into some store and you see, oh my God, so-and-so loves those posts, that artwork. It's really just connecting with that individual more. So it's not just buying 100 pieces of something and shipping it to everybody, because not everybody's the same.
Right.
So you find things that are unique to that person.
So segment for your gifts as well. That's cool. Well, you know that we're into real estate here. So give us some ideas of some cool gifts that realtors can give and that realtors can develop for pop buys, because I think this is a really great time of the year for realtors to get out and about and to stop and do their pop buys, for Marc's reps to get out and about. What kind of pop buy gifts are great for the real estate industry?
Well, taking something like the tumbler. I had wrapped it up in tissue paper. I put it in a cellophane bag. You could fill it with candy. Okay, so that when the candy is gone, which you know it's going to be gone in a couple of weeks, you go buy with some more candy. And
Good idea.
and then I have these vases that are flat, and they come in a flat envelope, and you open them up, you can fill them with water, they're a vase, and have flowers in it. Well, I give them out with Hershey's Kisses in them. I fill them up, again, put them in the clear cellophane, tie a bow around it, and now they can use the vase, and use it afterwards
creative.
for a vase. So
Yeah.
you can bring flowers to the
Yeah.
realtor office after.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things that bring you back. Well, now hand sanitizer is a great thing, is to drop off hand sanitizer to all the offices, because they're going to run out. You got another reason to go back.
Right. Are you still doing closing gifts for realtors?
Yes. Now here's the thing about gifts this year. Anything related to the home, you are a winner, because of the real estate market. Everybody, it's booming, but also everybody's at home more. So anything in the kitchen for cooking, for aprons, for, great pots, great pot holders. There's some fabulous bamboo book holders, so you can put your recipe book while, you're cooking. Cutting boards. I mean, there's some wonderful, but my most favorite gift for the home is a blanket. I am
Really?
a big blanket. I think the blanket, especially for a realtor, because I've done a lot with realtors on this. I am so thirsty. A blanket has a lot of meaning. So here you are as a realtor, and you want to give the family a gift at the closing, or if you're a title company or the mortgage company, and to think about the message you're giving. You're giving something warm and cozy and to feel safe, and you just sold them this home that was $1 million, and this is something that they're going to really, really use and feel good.
Absolutely.
I've given them out without my logo on it, and to this day, people contact me every time they use the blanket. They think of me. What else could you ask
That's
for?
awesome. That's awesome.
And so that has been an unbelievable category, and I love to give them in keepsake boxes that you could flatten out, but it's it's the presentation also. So it's the nice box with the tissue paper and the blanket, and a nice big wired ribbon.
Oh yeah, it's impressive. Your stuff always is impressive when it's delivered like that. Now, is it too late for people to order their Christmas gifts? Is there still time?
Yes.
Okay.
Now yes, there is. And the other thing too is if there's something special that is still coming in, think of New Year's as the time. Think of after Christmas.
Yeah,
Think
yeah.
of the beginning of the year to remind people that you're here and that you want to continue to do business. Valentine's
Do
Day.
you do consultation? Like if I wanted to come to you and say, here's my A list of clients. Now help me select gifts for this client, for this client, for this client, and then order it and fulfill it and everything through you? Can you do that?
Yeah, that's part of the program. The 6-week program is actually taking people through that and saying, here are the gift categories. The first thing is to target 10, 15 clients you want to do this program with. You don't want to do it with 100 clients.
Is this part of the value attraction that you talk about?
Value attraction is interesting. Value attraction means that your philosophy, your values, the things you believe in, you find yourself attracted to people who think the same way. And so,
Marc, how did you and I ever come together like that?
different values, eh? so
How in the hell have we worked together for so long? Mr. Conservative, Miss Liberal.
Yeah.
So you think.
We love each other. Yeah.
But there's obviously some underlying thing that obviously, connects you. And in August, I did a summit of top leaders in their various industries to talk about their number one strategy for building relationships, for maintaining clients, for generating referrals, what each of their top strategies were. And for me, it was wonderful because I was with 10 other people that thought the same way I did. Now, everybody did it
Love
differently.
that. Yeah, yeah.
But everybody had that same philosophy. I mean, think about, working every day with people that think the same way as you do versus toxic people that are counterproductive to your
That's
day.
exactly how I felt when I lived in New York City.
But the key matrix to that is everybody's thinking about client retention. correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Client retention, or even how, yes, it really is. But the referral part is also important. You know, you could have clients for years, they haven't given you one referral. And so part of the, you know, the idea of gift giving is if you find something so unique that is so different for a client that has a huge inner circle of really good friends and clients, that you'd love to get those referrals. It's really solidifying that relationship with the first client, you know, and there are some wonderful things, you know, there's the old, you know, I say this because there's some great good old boy stuff. I mean, there's some great knives, there's some great, you know, tools and things like that that are so impressive that keep people talking. And so to do that, and people go out and they'll show it and they go, oh, did you see what so-and-so and so-and-so gave me?
Right.
And that's what you want to generate.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff.
Really good
Yeah.
stuff.
Thank you.
We're getting short on time, so I want to jump to our wrap. And instead of 3 takeaways today, what I wanted us to do is something a little bit different since Donna's here. And that is to talk about your favorite gift or your favorite memory around Thanksgiving. Each one of us. So,
Okay.
Mark, start with you.
Well,
Either or.
I probably
Or
would just
both.
say memory because, you know, Thanksgiving just reminds me of my mom.
Oh,
And she's 12 years now. She's been gone. But she was the nucleus that pulled all of the families together. And I'm an only child, but she had sisters, brother, their family. And that was, you know, that's my memory of that side. And you know, it's kind of like when you lose a parent like that and something that important, and it begins to fracture out. You don't have those gatherings anymore. It becomes less of a significance to you, to that side. But I just cherish those memories of those times with my mom.
I know.
You get me
Okay.
emotional.
I know I'm getting emotional. It's very,
Yeah,
very
but
sweet.
that's
I know.
but that's the heartfelt part about Thanksgiving. You know,
It
it's
is.
it brings a memory. It brings to me. It just represents family
Yeah.
to that side. So I'll just always cherish those memories I have with my mom
I
to
think
that
that's
side.
sweet.
Yeah.
Are you
yeah.
going to be spending Thanksgiving alone? Did you say?
Well, I'll be with some friends over in Granbury,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah. So
All right.
I won't be eating alone.
Okay. Special.
I'll do my
times.
drive-by, eat, and leave.
There's something good
yeah.
to say
Making
about
those
that.
memories, I
Yeah.
see. Making those
I always
memories.
I'll bring the wine.
There you go.
Everybody get sleepy and then go eat good and then go
Cool.
take a nap.
Well, happy Thanksgiving,
Same
my
to you.
friend.
Same
I'm
to you, my
thankful
friend.
for you
Yeah.
and the relationship that we've built all these years and all the amazing memories that you and I have working in this crazy business here in
been a
Dallas.
journey.
So, thank you. So Donna, what's one of your favorite gifts or a favorite memory of
It's probably
Thanksgiving?
something you would never think of, but because I never thought of it either. But my favorite gift was when I came home from Vegas, which is always around my birthday, and Dave, my boyfriend at the time, had like gifts all on the kitchen counter, and he had this DVD of all of our photographs played to the tenors, one of the tenors on You Make My World Stand Still. And I'm like looking at like my whole life with him pass by,
Oh
and
my
I get up to
gosh.
get a
What a
tissue.
keeper that man.
Wait a minute, it gets better. I get up to get a tissue and he goes, wait, it's not over yet. And I sit down and he keeps going, and then there's this Scrabble board with words and a Bitmoji of him on his knee asking me to marry him. So to me,
Wow.
that was the best gift that I ever have gotten, because it was just so meaningful, and it was just beautifully done. He had hired somebody who, to do it, and I looked at him and I was like, what? My first reaction, because this was someone who was never getting married, never living with a woman. So we threw that out.
How
But-
precious. That's
Yeah.
sweet. I don't can't say I have a favorite gift because I have had so many gifts, from gifts from my parents when I was a kid to gifts from lovers when I've been married to gifts from my children as they grow up, handmade gifts from my little baby Eliana. So all the gifts that have been given to me are my favorite gifts, I think. But in the moments that go with that giving is also very memorable. But here at Thanksgiving, I'm going to have to go with your same memory, Mark. It's my mom, who is 91, and she has always been the hub of our entire family. She has done everything. She raised the kids pretty much by herself while Dad was busy preaching and tending to God's stuff. And Thanksgivings were a feast. People would gather, they would come, we'd have 50 people in the house. Every cousin, aunt, and uncle would travel across the country, wherever they were, to come to Marie's Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And it was always such an amazing, amazing time. And I cherish that. She's still with us. And I will be there this
Are
next
you all
week.
doing the cooking now?
We're all doing the cooking now. Mama is telling us what to do.
Right, right.
But that is probably my most cherished memory, is seeing my mom in that kitchen and the feast that she prepared for her family, and her family being number one to her. So beautiful and so special.
That is great.
Thank you. I'm thankful for you, Donna, for coming and being with us today, and
Oh.
for the gifts you've given me through the years and the things I've learned from you about marketing and gift giving. Very, very special lady to me. So
Oh, thank you,
and I
Sandy.
wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks. Pleasure. Thanks for inviting
So,
me and Mark.
Pleasure meeting you.
guys,
Yep.
we are set for December 10th. So mark your calendars, and we've got a very special guest that's going to join us for episode 23, and that's Mr. Mike Brody, who is almost like a real estate
He's the icon.
king. He is the icon.
Yeah.
And I had the distinct pleasure of working with Mike in early 2000s when I first bought my marketing company, and created some things for him that were fabulous, worked with him and his team. Super guy. And in the last 20 years, he has just grown and exploded to be, like Mark said, an icon in the industry. Well, Mike's going to come and sit with Mark and I, and we're going to brainstorm and listen to him as he gives his ideas and advice and talks about how to move forward in your real estate business in 2022. So mark your calendar from 1 to 2 or 1:30 to 2, December 10th, right here on The Insiders. Ciao, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.